Hi everyone. So now we discuss the chapter 2 of the Stat 5030 textbook. So the title is Our Environment. We have the 3 topics. The first one, the session management. So how to save files, how to save outputs, how to import files, how to export files, and so on. And the second topic is graphics. Maybe some of the slides will be skipped because those are detailed. The third topic is the R programming. We use if statements. We use the repeat, the loop, such as for loop and while loop, and also how to define functions. So it's convenient if you define many functions, then we write code based on those functions. Then code will be very concise and easy to read. Okay, so first we start with the session management in R. So first thing that we should do before starting coding is that setting the working directory. So if you start our session, we have some default working directory. You can see that by getWD function. Then you can see the slash users slash Kazuhiko Shinki is the default folder. So if we create something, then that will be saved there. And if we import file without specifying path, then we can get the file from this directory. If we want to change this directory, we can use set working directory function. If we type the full path, then R can change the directory. Okay, we have an error. Cannot change working directly. Usually this happens when this working directly does not exist. And actually here, that we have to correct the file, the directory name by this. Then if nothing happened, then actually that we have changed working directly. So if we import or export files, then that directly will be used. Okay, so next, the how to manage objects. So once you use our session, then you create many objects: matrix A, the sequence B, and the scalar C, and so on. If you type ls parentheses, then you can see all objects you have created. Actually, I saved these objects in our default, the workspace, so-called workspace. These objects that originally exist, but probably in your R session, nothing has been created. If we want to remove some of these, you can type remove B0, B1, for example. Then B0 and B1 has been removed. If you want to remove all objects, then you can type remove list is equal to ls parentheses, then you remove all object. So now the nothing is in our session. Okay, so next topic, the how to save workspace. Sometimes we create several objects, sequence A and sequence B. Then we want to start from here next time, even after you shut down the computer. Then you can save workspace. So save workspace file. Then you can save this R session. So for example, R session 1. Usually extension is .r data, RDATA. Okay, so now that it's saved. So even if we finished R, still you can open the R session. So there are 2 ways, but one way is just we search for the R file you saved. R data file you saved. So this R session. So this is the file. So you can open the data. No. I think that we should start open with R. So you can start R and use the workspace and load work file. So if extension is tied with R, then we can open by clicking the file. But okay, so R session. Then it sounds nothing happened, but when I type A or B, it exists within R session. So the R doesn't save code you typed, but the R saved all objects. So this is how to save and load workspace. Okay, so the next topic is output to a file. So suppose A is a larger object, such as 1 to 100. And we want to see the result of A square, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, and so on in a file. Then, okay, so we finished our session. So once again, that we set the working directly. Then use sync function. Then you specify the file name. For example, the today's R output.txt. Then when you type A or, maybe A, then the A, 1 to 100, is saved in this file. So you can see default the R directly and today R output, and you can open it, then you can see the output. So this is convenient when the output is very large. Okay, so to return to original R session to see output on screen in R console, you can type sync nothing parentheses. So then if you type A, then you can see all results on screen. If you export the output by sync function twice, for example, A square, then what happens? Actually, if you delete the original output and replace by the new one. So A to 1 to 100 has been replaced by 1 square to 100 square. If you want to append the existing output, then you can specify, okay, so at first we return to the original one, and then you can append by specifying append is equal to T or true, T-R-U-R-E. Then, for example, if you type a 1 to 10 cube, you can see the output is added to existing results. So this is how to output file. Okay, so we haven't discussed how to import the data set, but before that, we studied how to input from a file, how to input code from file. For example, if you want to define a very complicated function with 100 lines, then you don't want to see those code in our session every time. So in such a case, that you can use the source function to input code from a file. So suppose that the code file, our code file, exists in a default, I mean the working directly you set. Then, okay, so this has 2 lines. So A and B. A is a sequence of 1 to 10, and B is the diagonal matrix with diagonal entries 4 and 2. if you want to run this code without seeing code on screen, then you can type source of the file name s1.txt. Then it seems nothing happened, but if you type A, actually the new A has been defined and B has been defined. Yeah, so this is the basics on how to manage files and how to manage the workspace, that is the objects in our session.